We're ready to prep our paper for our watercolor project. So you're going to need 3 good sheets of sketchbook paper or watercolor paper. The heavier weight of the paper, the better this will be, as it will be able to withstand the amount of water we will add to the paper with watercolor. I am working with 9 by 12 paper. So working with a 9 by 12 sheet of paper, what I want for my project is I want 3 sheets of paper that measure 7 inches by 11 inches. So right now my paper in portrait view, measuring from the left side to the right side, is 9 inches. So I want to remove 2 inches from this edge because I want my paper to be 7 inches by 11 inches. So at the bottom of my paper, I've lined up the 0 of my ruler to the left edge. I'm going to make a very small mark at 7, and then I'm going to move my ruler to the top of that paper, and again the 0 of my ruler on the left edge, I'm going to make another mark at 7. Now that I have these 2 reference dots, I'm going to connect those dots, and I'm going to draw a line from top to bottom of my paper. So now that I have this measurement, I'm going to now turn my paper into landscape view. And it is going to now measure 12 inches across. And I want it to be 11 inches. So once again, near the bottom, I'm lining up the 0 of my ruler to the left edge, and I'm going to make a mark at 11. And I'm going to move my ruler to the top, and once again 0 of my ruler on the left edge of the paper, I'm going to make a mark at 11, and I'm going to connect that top mark to that bottom mark and draw a line. So my next step is to then cut along these lines, so I am left with just this 7-inch by 11-inch piece of paper. And I am going to need 3 of those. So I have 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to work with 1 of these pieces of paper at a time. And I'm going to create a border on here, and the border for our project is going to stay white. So I'm going to need a ruler for this step, and I'm going to start at the bottom of my paper, and again I'm going to line up the 0 to the left edge. And I'm going to measure out my border on the left and my border on the right at the same time. I'm going to apply a 1-inch border. So I'm going to make a mark at 1 inch. And over here I'm going to make a mark at 6 inch. I'm going to again move my ruler. I'm going to bring it to the top of my paper, and once again lining up the 0 to the left edge. I'm going to again make a mark at 1 inch and a mark at 6 inch. Now that I have marks at the top and bottom of my paper, I'm going to take my ruler, line it up to those 2 marks, and I'm going to lightly draw a border line, because I want to get rid of that border line later. Going to do the same thing over here on the right side. Line up my top and bottom marks And again, a light line because I want to erase it later. So now that I have my left and right border, I want to turn my paper into landscape view so I can create these two borders. Once again, at the bottom of my paper, I'm going to line up the 0 to the left edge, and I again want a 1-inch border. So I'm going to make a mark at 1 and a mark at 10. Move my ruler to the top of my paper. 0 of the ruler lined up on the left side. I'm going to make a mark at 1 and a mark at 10. And now that I have my reference marks, I'm going to line up those two marks with my ruler. And once again, light lines, very little pressure. I want to create my border line here. And I want to create my border line over on this side. So my piece of paper will look like this when I'm done. I'm going to repeat the process on my other two pieces of paper.